Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cleo Washington coming to you from the Intel platform. And listen, I wanted to just chime in today and, just to speak a brief word regarding the National Guard troops that's now being rolled out in every major American city. All 50 states are getting ready to roll out the National Guard. Listen, this is what I'm trying to get everybody to see, okay? Because the Republicans, the right wingers, and the left wingers, I'm not a right wing, I'm not a left wing, I'm a realist, okay? We keep it real on the Intel platform, regardless of what the narrative is, or regardless of what the truth is. You follow me? We spend time with God in prayer, and we get our intel directly downloaded from the portals of glory. But this is what God is telling me to do today regarding the National Guard troops being rolled out in every major American city. I'll say it right in a moment. Listen, this is not a good thing. If Americans can look at this from a standpoint of New World Order, okay, which is that which we are in, it's not coming, it's here, then you would have a better understanding as regards what I'm advocating here. It is not a good thing that the National Guard and troops are being deployed in every major American city under the guise of crime, okay? I'm in the South right now. There's nothing going on where I am. No crime. You don't even need police around. Why are you going to send the National Guard here? Listen, there is an ulterior underlying agenda that they are planning to fulfill. Make no mistake about it. Okay? It's not to remove the immigrants. It's not to fight crime. It's because they have an opportunity to say that they're being dispatched, okay, to remove the illegals and to fight crime. So they're taking advantage of the opportunity to federalize the nation, which is what I have been saying now for about 2 or 3 years. Listen, this is not a good thing, okay? Donald Trump, at the beginning of this second term, he stated that he was going to be the last U.S. president. And this is where we are today. You see how these things are unfolding when you look at them from a standpoint of one, Bible prophecy, and you look at them from a standpoint of two, the New World Order, which actually falls under the guise of Bible prophecy. But let's take a look at this short video, and I'll stop and I'll have a little commentary. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but I'm just trying to get Americans to see how far gone that Americans have allowed the mind control technologies to mind control them. We're under direct attack from Russia and China with mind control technologies. Let's jump into this video and I'll stop and give some additional commentary.
A lot of these key situations and doing a lot of the reporting based on how violent the left has become. But you've gotten your hands on a very important, let's just say, memo that went out. And ultimately, it's kind of outlining how the Trump administration is preparing to take on these individuals who are extremely violent. They're also looking for, according to you, some troops who are specializing in chemical, biological, and nuclear scenarios. So break down this exclusive that you just recently reported.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Brianna. And good morning, and just all the Infowars audience out there. It's a pleasure to join you all. But yes, this is an exclusive story that it was sent in by someone that wishes to remain anonymous, that works within the confines of the federal government, saying that they received this memorandum, basically saying that the Trump administration, under the order of Pete Hegseth, which is now the Secretary of War, is creating the nation's first National Guard Response Force, the NGRF, in which basically they're saying that all 50 U.S. states and U.S. territories must have at least 500 National Guard troops trained and specialized in mass civil unrest. There are, if you have the page pulled up, you can kind of see some of the training that they're going to be receiving, which is,
All right, and I'm going to pause right there and make a few comments, okay? You came too late to tell me that white supremacy is not a real thing, okay? I was one of those who was brainwashed in that regard until some things happened to me in 2024, all right? So you cannot tell me that it's not real, okay? It may not be as thick as people are projecting it to be, but it is a reality in this nation. Make no mistake about it. Listen, I don't pull no punches. I don't cut corners, all right? I just give it to you exactly how God gives it to me, all right? Right now, we have some issues in this nation, and Satan is making his play based off of those issues. Some people not seeing things for what they really are, and some people don't want to see things for what they really are. Okay? So what we need to do is we need to look at this from a standpoint of the fact that we are right smack dab in the middle of New World Order. Federalizing the nation is not a good thing. I don't understand what Americans are thinking. The mind control technologies that have taken root. Okay, Americans have been inundated with electromagnetic frequencies, and therefore the mind control technologies have taken root. Now, Peter Hegseth, somebody tell me if the tattoos are real, because I saw a bunch of tattoos on him that signified what he was. Okay, if that's the case, nah, no, okay, no. But things are the way they are. It is what it is. If he wants to be that way, then he can be that way. But you can't expect me to be on board with you 100%. Because look at this melanin in my skin. You follow me? So it is what it is. Let's just keep it a buck. Now, let's continue.
Kind of handling the civil unrest scenarios, to include using a baton, using non-lethal, how to be able to just kind of handle these scenarios that are happening all over the nation right now. Los Angeles, they're looking at San Francisco now. You've got New York City as well. You've got places like Portland, Oregon, and Chicago, Illinois, that have kind of been a hotbed for these anti-ICE protests. And so what we saw earlier this year is that when Donald Trump was going to deploy to Los Angeles the National Guard, and I was out there for that coverage as well, is that National Guard had to be trained, because this is not something that they are necessarily experts on. They're not really trained to handle kind of domestic civil unrest. And so, when I first saw this...
And see, here, this is what I'm talking about. No disrespect to my man Anthony. I don't know him. But here we have the blind leading the blind, or the blind reporting to the blind. Okay? Back in 2012, from 2012 to 2016, Operation Jade Helm. Remember Operation Jade Helm? This is where American troops was training in cities, in the local communities, practicing detaining American citizens for civil unrest. You see what I'm saying? They have been trained for this, because it is a plan. It's all a stage. We're in the New World Order. It's not coming. It is here. Let's continue.
I said, okay, there's a couple red flags here that, my ears are perked up for this. One of them is, obviously, this is the first time it's ever happening. But even if we look back, we could talk about like the George Floyd riots. We could talk about even the riots going back to when President Trump first got elected, with the riots happening in D.C. when he took office. I think that maybe one could say that the Trump administration is finally taking action and saying, okay, look, we've got these states that are now willing to cooperate. We've got places like Chicago that are giving stand-down orders to the police, saying they would not aid or help in any way.
And see, this is the level of mind control that is taking place in America. Again, the blind reporting to the blind. Here's why Trump is federalizing the nation. Because they are aware that people are waking up to the fact that a bioweapon was rolled out on American citizens as per Operation Warp Speed. Okay? It was a biological, technological bioweapon, nanobots that are controlled via frequency. You follow me? Donald Trump initiated that order with Operation Warp Speed. That's at the beginning. Now at the tail end, Donald Trump is giving AI free reign against all legislative orders to actually control the nanoparticulates that's in the vaccine, and in turn the people. You see the overall scheme here, and there's another component to it, but I won't allude to it just yet. Let's continue.
The federal government, because these governors of these blue states like California and Illinois are saying we are not willing to work with the federal government. So what that does is, when there's federal agents operating for these coming after illegal criminal aliens, is they have no reinforcement. And if the crowd gets out there and starts demanding that these agents leave and kind of getting violent or leading to violence, they're not able to use local law enforcement to kind of set up a perimeter. And that is something that LA City Mayor Bass has said. This is something that the Chicago mayor has said, saying we are not working with you.
So it's bad, okay, when the alternative news media sources have been compromised. It's bad, all right? Because what's happening is, what I'm picking up on the alternative news media sources is Trump could do no wrong. And they're not weighing the heaviness or the gravity of each action that has been taken. Okay? Yeah, the Trump administration has done a lot of good things. But what happened at the outset, at the disbursement of Operation Warp Speed, and people going out and getting a bioweapon injected into them? You understand, this is New World Order. They want 7.5 billion people to die. And they have rolled out their kill program. And now AI is going to finish the job. This is why they are building the robots, because they have a kill switch in these nanoparticulates that's in the vaccine. It's time to wake up, America. It's time to wake up. You follow me? And look at what they're doing. They have replaced all of the people that were journalists for the Pentagon have now been replaced by independent journalists. Independent right-wing journalists. So they are not going to report anything negative about Donald Trump. Listen, I don't have nothing against Donald Trump. I just keep it real. And the Holy Spirit has shown me what's going on. The Holy Spirit told me almost a year to date. In 2 days from now, it'll be October 24th. October 24th, 2024, God told me that the stars are falling. And we are seeing it, but Americans are under the trance and don't want to snap out of it because they just can't even concede the fact that, hey, this is Donald Trump that did this, okay? This time last year in 2024, 50 million people had died from the vaccine. 50 million. It's probably something like 70 million now. They are covering it up. You follow me? They're covering it up. And they're putting their people in place to continue with the rhetoric. So I'm not going to air too much more of this video. I just wanted to chime in and try to keep Americans awoke to what's going on, to what's happening. Right now, we have to, all of this stuff that's going on, nobody's talking about detoxifying from the vaccine. Why? Why do you think they're rolling out the National Guard? Because when they hit the kill switch and a lot of people just drop dead, they have to have their governmental authorities in place. You follow me? Keep your head on the swivel. Intel.